Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance playthrough. So, we finished off La Cité de Cloche, but we didn't actually get all of the treasures. So, we need to go back and do that now, because otherwise I won't ever be able to forgive myself. Because as I said, I'm kind of anal retentive about the whole thing. I want to get all of my treasures. And so yeah, I'm going straight back in and getting them. So thankfully there's only 7, so that's not too horrendous. So I think we should be okay. I mean, as you can see by the length of this part, we're not going to be here for that long. But obviously it is preventing us from getting on with going through Riku's version of this wonderful world. And also I'm doing that thing of going like, right, I'm missing that treasure chest which is there, that treasure chest which is there. What's my best route through this? And also what blooming things am I missing in what places, because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to tell. I mean, really what I needed, and what probably would have been helpful to me, but really there is absolutely no reason that anybody would ever need to do that or want to do that, is actually having the setup you have here of the treasure chests in their sort of orientation in the reports, so that you could just click on whichever one you're actually missing and then go, okay, click that one, that's pointing me to that direction, so that's where I need to go first, and yada 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 yada. But really that is only needed for anybody who's doing a playthrough. Like, if you're actually just playing the game normally, then really there's no need to do any of that, because, I mean, why would you? It's just for weirdos like me, who really like their completionist ranks and tendencies, and just want to make sure that everything is there. Also, I always get lost on the rooftop of Notre Dame, because I never quite remember where the entrances and exits to everything are. Because pretty much, obviously you can jump off the roof, but also there are the 2 doors, and they're both on the same side, so it's kind of just like, what's the point of the other side at all? But hey, whatever. So I believe the first 1 or 2 chests are hidden about in here. I thought I'd been quite diligent in picking everything up in here, but clearly that was not the case. And I think I am going to get a little bit oh, no, that one's been opened. I could have sworn it was around here somewhere. I think it might be potentially in one of these alcoves. Yeah, this is always the slightly non-fun bit of exploring, when you're just going for one specific thing. You're just like, I don't know where I'm going. And yet, literally, I think I just went completely past it. Oh well. I will find it, don't worry. But one of the things, whilst we're here, because it's an interesting thing to bring up, is sort of how surprisingly they kept in a lot of the religious imagery. I mean, obviously it cannot be helped. Like, you're replicating Notre Dame, so obviously there is Jesus in here, and a lot of the artwork is sort of that typical medieval and gothic stuff. And while obviously there is no mention, well, I don't believe there is any mention of God in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, I do like that they still made use of, obviously, saying gypsies and that whole prejudicial angle of Frollo. Because while they clearly did tone down certain elements. It's not all of it, and when you've got a game franchise that's trying to be a-religious, I suppose. Because I mean, really having the likes of Christianity and Shinto and Islam and pretty much any sort of religion in this type of video game, it's not really the place for it. Like, you've got all sorts of fantastical things going on, and it's not a conversation that needs to be had. So, actually ensuring that while this is present and it's dealt with properly, it's not getting in the way of sort of the core of what Kingdom Hearts is about, which is just about being a good person. I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's what I think a lot of kind of Japanese heroic tales bottle down to. I mean, you look at the majority of anime, and obviously there is a lot of it. I mean, it's mostly shonen anime, but that does end up making up quite a large majority of anime. And it's mostly about the power of friendship, how being a good person is the right thing to do. I mean, of course, it's pretty obvious. But I think that it is something that sometimes people do forget. I mean, part of it is also, I suppose, you have arguments of whether you should like respect, and whether people these days are respectful or they should be more respectful. I mean, some of the things that I've seen over the years certainly indicates that the world does still have a long way to go, but I do feel that even though it presents it in a, I want to say somewhat, it's not necessarily a childish manner, but it's in a manner that is more accessible to a younger audience. Stories like Kingdom Hearts and showing what goodness and kind of friendship do and why they're good. I think that having that in any sort of medium is important, because it helps you reach the point, or it helps teach people that they are good qualities to have and to use. And yeah, I know that sounds really wishy-washy and a bit preachy, and also, I suppose, a bit naive in a way. It is still important, because when you do good, you help others and you help yourself. And really, I will happily do whatever I can to try and make the world a better place, even if it's only a tiny little thing that I am able to do. Because, yes, sometimes you just don't realise the impact that one small deed can make. I mean, it's why I've ultimately, I think, ended up in the jobs that I have. Like, obviously working in a theatre, working in local government, both in sort of communications marketing roles, which admittedly in a way, the main gist of the marketing roles were, I'm trying to get people into this building to pay money so that we can continue as a business. That's sort of the gist. But in my head, it was always very much about, even though I'm trying to persuade people to come to see a show and, you know, spend money to see the show so that, you know, we can continue as a business, in my head it was also very much about trying to show people things that they might not have seen before and to just get enjoyment. Because, I mean, I love theatre. You've probably been able to tell at this point, particularly, you know, in this particular playthrough, where all of the Dream Eaters are being named after musical theatre characters, or musical characters. Might be able to tell that a little bit that I'm a bit theatrical. But yeah, so it was all about wanting to bring people enjoyment, and by bringing people enjoyment, just make the world a bit happier, a bit of a better place. And then in my local government job, it's less about money, thank God. Much prefer it when there's no money really involved in what I do. But in terms of sort of the stuff that I do, it's all about helping point people in the right direction of services that they might need, and helping them in sort of that way, and just also pointing out the stuff that they have access to, which they might not have realised they have access to. So yeah, it's a weird one, and I do wonder where I'm going to end up next. It is something that I've got on my mind at the minute. I don't really need to, because I'm in a nice permanent job. I don't need to worry about that sort of stuff, but obviously I am, because obviously I need to think about career moves and money and yada 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 yada, because of course that's life. But in my head I have got the worry of, well, what am I going to end up doing next? Because whatever I end up doing, I want to have that same level of fulfillment in my job. And I don't know quite where I'm going to go, where I'm going to get the money that's going to allow me to do that, because, hey, there's not a lot of money in local government, and there's not a lot of money in theatre either, so yeah, I'm going to have fun on that respect. But hey, that's life, and this was Richie's slight existential crisis in life, despite the fact that it's not actually going to affect him yet, and it doesn't really matter yet, but it's still affecting him anyway because he overthinks everything. It's the curse of depression, really. Well, maybe it's not the curse of depression, it's maybe a little side effect that caused or had an influence in causing the depression. It's always really bloody difficult to tell, you know? Still not able to get... Oh, I can get that link. I'll take that. It means we're close to a combo plus. We're still quite a way away from that, which is not fun, but I'm saving up for it because I want my leaf bracer. And I definitely want that Curaga. Anything to get a Curaga, please. That would be nice. But I think that our last chest is actually around here in the graveyard, funnily enough. I'm not quite sure where it is, like, but I think it's somewhere. If not, we've already collected them all and I'm just trying to level up and just murdering things. Which is another potential option. I can never tell when like I'm really close to the end of the part. I'm just like, have I got everything? I think I've got everything, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't have edited it this way. But then I'm weird, and it's difficult to tell sometimes. But, okay, so I was just going to level up and save. That's fair enough. So we did get everything. Yes! Success! There's my 100% treasures. Always confusing myself, but it's fine. Anyway, let us drop and go to La Cité de Cloche as Riku. Woo!